guys, today I want to show you how I style my hair, and I'm starting with semi-wet hair, and I'm using this diffuser by Dyson. It's the Dyson Supersonic with the diffuser, and I'm putting it on low speed and low heat, and I am pointing it towards the crown of my head just to gently let the air flow dry the top of my hair. And I'm not really pushing the diffuser too far into the hair because I don't want to mess it up too much, because that will create more frizz. So I'm just really gently trying not to destroy my curl pattern that has already formed. Since I have naturally wavy hair, I think I'm like a 2B or 2C type hair. And so this motion, throwing the hair over my head, is kind of, I'm trying to create more volume here by doing that. And just gently switching the position of the diffuser as I go along, and not trying to rough it up too much, as I said before. So here I'm just really trying to get like all of my head, the hair that's closest to my head, because that part actually dries the slowest. So even if I don't do anything, I just let my hair air dry, that part always stays pretty damp for hours and hours and hours. So I really need to get in there. So once I've done that, I'm just gonna let it sit for now and put a little bit oil. This is actually an oil that also has a little bit of heat protectant in it. And this one I'm going to distribute throughout the lengths and ends of my hair, just to give it a little bit of heat protection and nutrition. And now that's done, we're going to continue with the makeup part. So these are, the first step is my eyebrows. I'm using this eyebrow gel. It's a clear gel, it doesn't have any pigment, and I'm just brushing my brows into place here. I always do this in 2 steps on every brow. First, I just brush them in like the direction of growth, and really just trying to get the gel in the hair. And then I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit and like get a little bit drier. And after that's a little bit dried, I'm doing like a second coat, but this time I'm really brushing them up and into place where I want them to be. So I like the lifted brow look, so I'm always brushing them upwards and kind of laminating them as I'm going through with the brush. And I'm laying them flat against my head pretty much, so they just stay fixed like this for the whole day. And I'm a perfectionist, that's why I always use like a spoolie to really correct it and make sure there are no gaps or any clumps. And yeah. And then now I'm using this makeup, which is also like a hybrid sunscreen. It's from Heliocare. It's a sunscreen compact, and it has like a makeup color. So this is what I always use for my nose and my upper lip, because this is where I sweat a lot. And then I just buff it in with a small brush. So all my makeup that I'm going to use today all have some form of SPF in them. So I guess this one has like an SPF 50. And yeah, I always use, so I'm just trying to think, this one, I always use a sunscreen layer first before I go on with the makeup part, because I always want to make sure that I have enough sunscreen on, because this next step is another sunscreen makeup hybrid. It's a liquid form. It's also from Heliocare. You cannot see the label anymore, it's rubbed off. But I don't really use enough. As you can see, it's not really that much, but I don't want to have that much coverage. So I just use so much that it looks natural, but just in order to get the sun protection that I need, I always put a good layer of sunscreen underneath, a clear sunscreen, that is. That was the one you saw before with the, from Numbuzin, the purple tube. So now I'm just dabbing it in with my fingers, all the spots on my neck, blending it down my neck. And this is actually like my foundation done. So this is under eye corrector. It has a dark peach tint, which cancels out dark circles. And it also has an SPF of 40, I think. I put a little dab underneath my eyes there, and then I mix it with another a concealer that has mineral protection as well. It's from Ciele, and it has, I think, SPF 50. And yeah, these two colors are like a perfect match for my under eyes right now. It has just a perfect amount of peach and blends in with my skin tone. So that's why I mix them. And they're both mineral SPF concealers. I blend it in with this brush, which I really love. I really love this brush. It's the perfect brush for under eye concealer, in my opinion. It's from Zoeva. It's really good. I do like these small dabbing motions just to distribute it evenly and give like an airbrushed effect. So now I'm taking the darker color of the two. I actually depotted the Heliocare sunscreen compacts because they were two different compacts, but they're very bulky. So I depotted them for this trip to Italy, and I put one color on one side and the other on the other side. And I just used the darker one as a bronzer, pretty much, for my eyes, for the contouring of my eyes, because I'm not using eyeshadow here. I'm just using this kind of dark bronze color. So here I have a little friend, a little pimple that decided to say hi. So I'm covering that up with this concealer again. It's the Ciele one. And I'm dabbing this in the corner of my eyes, in the outer corners, just to lift the corners of the eyes, make them brighter. And then I am covering up that pimple. You can still see it in the light, but it's not red anymore, so that's good enough for me. I never have pimples. This is really a rare occasion for me to have one. But it was that time, you know. So here's the darker color again. I'm using that on the perimeter of my face just to bronze it up a little bit and give it more. It's not contouring what I'm doing here. It's more like bronzing, I guess, because I don't really like harsh contours. I just wanna make everything look more cohesive. So as you can see, my neck and my body are quite dark. My face is a little bit lighter. So I'm trying to bronze up the perimeter so it looks a little bit more pulled together. This is the same color that I used on my eyelids, in the eye crease, to get that eyeshadow effect. And it also has SPF, so real good. No, it was hot, I'm sweating, so Forgive me. So this is my highlighter stick, also in mineral SPF 45, and it's from Hello Sunday. And I just dab it on tops of my cheeks, just to give a little highlight, the eyes. And then I also put it on the high points of my collarbone and my shoulders, just why not? Gives a little sheen. I like it. I like to bring out my features, so why not? And the next step is SPF blush. This one is an SPF 30, I think, and it has this beautiful coral color, and it's also liquid, so that's why I put it on top of the stick that I just put down, because I kind of want to diffuse the highlight a little bit more, just to make it a little bit more natural. We're not going for a really stark look here. It's just really sun-kissed, glowy, and healthy looking. That's what we're going for here. So this just brings back a little bit more color to the cheeks. Evaluating which side needs more blush. And I always dab instead of swipe because I feel like the product actually deposits better without taking off the underlying foundation that I already put on. This is just what I do. Works for me. So here I'm curling my lashes with the lash curler. And this mascara that I'm using is actually a brown mascara, dark brown, so it looks really natural. And yeah, it's not waterproof though. So if you need a waterproof mascara because you sweat a lot in the heat or something, then I would probably not recommend this one, but I actually never sweat too much around my eyes, so I am fine with a non-waterproof one. And I always feel like the waterproof ones are really hard to remove, and I don't like the trouble of that. So I always actually use washable ones like this one. Okay, so now the last step is actually setting powder, or in this case, this is actually a compact powder that you can also use as your foundation, but I am using it as a last step in this case, just to set everything down and to blend everything together. And this also has an SPF of 50. It's from a German brand, and I really like it. It's a good powder. This is, by the way, my favorite brush. It's the Marc Jacobs F4 brush. It's double-sided and it works for so many things. I love it so much. All right, this is the makeup done. So now back to the hair. I'm actually gonna finish off diffusing the hair now, so it will be almost completely dry when I'm done with that. And now we kind of have this frizzy mess, and this is my GHD Unplugged flat iron. It's very cool because it's wireless, And yeah, this is the mess that we need to fix. I'm gonna start with my bangs because they are the wildest ones, and I am using the flat iron to create a little bit of a wave in the bangs, and of course just to not straighten them out, but to get rid of the frizz and to smooth them out. That's pretty much what I'm doing here, trying to get them to the shape that I want them to, how I want them to lay on, yeah, on my head. And I'm going in tiny sections here because I am trying to follow the curl pattern, wave pattern that already has formed. So kind of what clumped together, I'm trying to take as one piece and smoothing that out with the curling iron. No, the flat iron, not the curling iron, sorry. So I'm going strand by strand. Every strand pretty much that is face framing, I am smoothing down with the flat iron. Second side now, and doing the same thing here, taking small sections and smoothing them out first, and when they are smoothed out, I'm creating that shape that I want, this wave. Flick at the end, pretty much, is what I'm doing here. I don't want to take too big of a section because I don't want the waves to look like a glam wave, because that's actually what it's gonna do when the sections are too big. And of course, because the flat iron is pretty small, it's smaller than a standard size flat iron, so it's not gonna evenly smooth and curl the whole strand of hair if I take too much. So I'm just taking smaller sections here, just to make sure that it's all uniform. Okay, so after I've done the bangs section, now I'm taking like all kind of pieces that are looking really frizzy and squiggly, that are not behaving pretty much. Those strands I'm taking and I am reshaping them with the flat iron. See, that part wasn't really frizzy. So I'm just going through the hair and seeing where's the frizz, and I'm trying to part the strand where I'm not creating more not more clumps. I'm actually destroying the clumps that already formed and trying not to create more frizz, which is actually not that easy to do. Yeah, but if you have wavy or curly hair, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Wavy or curly hair is very unpredictable. You never know what you're getting, and yeah. So trying to tame that with the flat iron right now. Because what we don't want is frizz. That is the one thing we do not want. Okay, now I'm done with the flat iron part. And now I'm using this curling wand. It's a 19 millimeter curling wand. And I already burnt my hand with this one, like twice. So I don't want to do that again. So I'm using these wristbands that I use for my skincare because I didn't have anything better. I don't have a glove or anything. So this is what we are working with here. It's okay. It's better than burning your hand. So I use this wand to recurl or curl other pieces that are not curly enough, and also again pieces that are frizzy and look like shit. And you might ask yourself, why are you not using the flat iron for all of them? I'm trying to create some texture and movement and variety here. So the more different tools you use, the more variety and texture you're going to get. So the more natural it's going to look too. So I will have my natural wave, the wave I created with the flat iron, and the waves that I created with this curling wand in the end. And it's going to make a really interesting texture that's not going to clump together. And since the wand is not very long, I always move down the wand. As you can see, sometimes I just move down the wand like that. Sometimes I just use it and I just hold it for a very short time and I release it. And I pull the strand of hair that I just curled so it won't get too curly, because that's also not what I want. See, there, pull it. I'm pulling it. Once it's still hot, you can still work with the hair and let it set in the way you want it to. So once the hair cools, you cannot change the shape of the curl anymore. So once you have it, yeah, see, once it's still hot, you can still pull it and it will be a more relaxed wave instead of a really coily curl. So I'm checking for frizzy pieces. And if I think I'm done, I switch it off. And then I flip my hair and try to get a little bit more volume into it. That's what I'm doing here. Sweat again. And the last step is actually lip gloss. This is also an SPF gloss. And it's just a clear gloss with mineral filter. That's why it's a little bit whitish. Put a little too much on. So I'm wiping the excess off. And this is the finished look. So now I'm ready for the heat and the sun. I will show it how it looks like from the back. Here you can see the different textures of the curls and waves. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Bye!